I think we're live.
We are live.
Oh, we are live. Yes.
All right.
No intro. Well, I can't. You can do the intro today.
Welcome to episode number 51. Where we're freestyling with Bobby and Eric, our friends in the hobby. So welcome, Bobby. Welcome, Eric.
Hey,
Thank
guys.
you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for joining us. So for those of you out there, usually, we've interviewed Bobby before, so we've got him here in freestyle. Eric has stepped in a few times because we had problems with a guest before, and you stepped in, so thank you for that. Today we're just kind of. That was actually a lot of fun. You actually showed. What card did you show that night?
You showed several things.
You showed something.
I was just trying to help you guys kill time. I was gonna start taking stuff off the wall. Whatever you needed.
Speaking of which, Kent, why don't you take now the time to show Bobby the?
When we still have a little bit more viewers, otherwise, no offense to the two viewers that we have right now. I'll just keep you in suspense.
Yeah, it's probably my mom and your mom watching right now. Just,
I'd almost guarantee you it's my mom.
Encyclopedia Brown will be out there.
There you go. Yes.
Bobby, what did you do for spring break?
It's been 2 years of spring break. What are you talking?
And Eric, do you guys have that? You guys have that down there, don't you? Spring break,
like a March break.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the young kids are down in Florida now, raising all sorts of heck. So.
Right.
You're seeing a lot of things on the news that, as a parent now, I shake my head at and go, "Oh my God! Thank God, my daughter isn't at that age yet that I have to worry about her escaping to Florida and behaving that way."
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going, buddy?
Jeremy, buddy, how you doing?
Eric, is there a 4th of July in Britain?
I don't think they would be overly excited about that one. But
yeah, I don't think that's
4th of July everywhere, guys.
It was a trick question. He fooled you.
He says, do they have March break in the States? Yeah. Well, I think March break is the biggest thing in the States, really. I think they invented it before we even.
Yeah, it's really tough to watch as a fully grown adult seeing the behaviors that go on down there.
Growing up.
Go ahead.
Growing up, I hated crowds, so I would have never gone anyways. So Jeremy's saying long time no see. Yes, it's been all of 15 minutes probably since I tried to text you last. I haven't talked to you in a long time, but thanks for coming by, buddy. But yeah, spring break. I was never a big spring break guy.
Eric, did you do the Florida stuff? Did you do the Florida stuff, Eric? Back in the day?
No. I was. If I wasn't in school, I was working. So if I had a week off from school, I was probably, working on the farm or working in a factory or doing something. I was always doing stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't go off and participate in that debauchery.
Speaking of,
I wanted to make some money.
Speaking of debauchery, yes, go ahead.
The other thing that he said, working hard. Tim was Slabstrong was on. I just recently saw a video out from Jeff Wilson that he did an intro again for Slabstrong. So it looks like he's doing well.
Yeah, Tim is doing really well. He's heading out to Vegas. He has a lot of plans for his trip out there this upcoming week. Hooking up with a lot of people in the hobby.
Nice.
A lot of people that he's met through Clubhouse and just working hard. I mean, Tim shows up and he takes over. He glad hands as many people as he can, introduces himself, throws his slabs around, talks to everybody. He treats everybody well. He's a positive guy. And he's made a lot of connections in the year that he's been doing this. People forget that he's really only been doing this for 1 year. And he has really come a long way in a short period of time. And, I always tell him how much he impresses me.
He works hard, man. Like he's also an incredibly positive person. So I'm glad that we had him on here. I text with him all the time. I try to introduce him to wherever people I know to see if he can get anything going that way. But he's the kind of guy he's kind of got that Rocky Balboa. You want to root for him, kind of.
The underdog kind of.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And when I first got to know him, that was what kind of think like drew me to him was how impressed I was with what this kid will go through to get what he wants. I got a lot of inside stories that that's for him to talk about, but he's been through a lot and he's just kept fighting. And here he is, flying to Vegas to meet with the leaders of our hobby and our industry. And he's making it happen. And it's all through hard work and determination.
Yeah, I think Tim has blind ambition, I think I would call it. He just goes, and wherever he's going, he'll make it happen wherever he is. So
this Vegas show, is that the Mint show?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Jeremy, you're going too. I don't know if you're still watching, but I think you're going.
Oh, he's a speaker, I think.
Yeah, he is a speaker.
Yeah, Jeremy's going to be there unless something's changed.
Okay. Yeah.
Jeremy, I can fit in your very large suitcase.
Very.
It is a large suitcase.
That should be a good show, though. But that's actually a different spin on card shows in general, right? I'm really curious as to the longevity of that one, right? Because it's got a lot of big hitters behind it.
Well, years ago, the expo was like that, right? They had, guests on the side that would talk in the room. And remember, I think around 2005-ish, 2010, somewhere around there.
Really?
I can't remember. Yeah, they started to use the other area, where the snack booth and everything. They started using.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And
that's
then,
right.
And then they had some extra signers in there. They had Tony and Phil Esposito, and all those guys were in there at one time getting extra autographs. But they were promoting something at that time. I forget what it was. They weren't the signing guests. They were sort of just there doing whatever.
But, this is interesting. So
really?
They signed a 3-year deal with Peyton Manning, so we know at least 3 years of Mint collection.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah. And he's flying out Thursday morning, going to make room for me in his suitcase. That's going to be a really big suitcase. But I mean, that's going to be that's interesting because it's a different take on the card show circuit, right? I'm really curious how that goes, and I like how it's organized so far, right? Just from outside perspective.
Yeah, there's a lot of specific intent to this show,
right?
Which is really good because most of them are mindless. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, okay, all the dealers show up and everybody just comes, and it just, this has focus. It has different things to do. And plus they have dealers. I don't know what dealers are there. I didn't look through the list, but I'm sure there's a list somewhere.
It feels almost like a, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, I just say, I could definitely give you 50 negative things about it, but I could probably give you 100 positives. And what I really do like is the effort. They really made sure they reached out to every name in the hobby, whether they're an influencer, as they're called, someone who owns a large card shop in the United States,
hobby historians,
hobby historians, which are really the most important part of the hobby. Especially hockey historians, especially, just.
I don't know any of them.
I'm not a hobby historian. I'm a hobby historian, not a hockey historian. Remember that, because I know all the Parkers. I know a lot of the other stuff too. So.
Yeah, but as you know, my friend, I only care about your hockey knowledge.
Me too. Me too.
You could be the smartest baseball guy on the planet. I won't ask you one baseball question.
Yeah, but Kent is the baseball guy. So,
well, the collectible side of it, yeah, I'm pretty good at a lot of different stuff, different areas. Display boxes, history of companies, and stuff like that. I'm pretty good that way.
Yeah, you're really good with the advertising and the display boxes. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you're very knowledgeable on that kind of stuff, which is really cool.
Company history is important too. In the States, it's hard. Like anybody to do something that I'm doing in the US, like for baseball or football, you'd have to get a group of 100 guys together to get on top of it. It just would take that. It would be a group source thing. There's no way somebody can handle it. I've been doing this a long time. So, I've slowly, and I'm really sort of the only kind of guy, really. There's people that are specialists like beehive guys, and there's other people who are into different other things, but the vintage people just don't realize I got 25 years of my computer full of pictures I've saved and stuff I've saved over the years. So it's nice to have that to reflect back on.
Yeah, they've got. I'm just looking at the guest list for the speakers for Mint Collecting.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty impressive list. It's quite a few
Yeah.
people.
And that's what I was saying to Ameet, that they're bringing in a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Whether we may be interested in what they have to say or not as individuals is beside the point. They're bringing in heavy hitters, and they're not just going up on stage and doing a Q&A or just rambling. There's topics that are being discussed. As you read on that, you'll see that, they're talking about like forgeries in the hobby, counterfeiting in the hobby, for example. Things to look out for when you're examining, cards and slabs. And, so there's different topics that, if done right and taken seriously and effort gets put into it, a lot of really important information can come out of this collective. So I think
I
that's
agree.
pretty positive.
This is very similar, like the way it's positioned and the way it's set up is very similar to some of like the tech conferences that happen, like the important tech conferences that happen, gaming conferences. So it's kind of nice to see cards are getting some of the same treatment from that perspective. I like the fact that they do have these guys will give you a different flavor of their interpretation of the hobby. I do think that from a collecting standpoint, there's always going to be the collector, but this is the business side of it, right? Everyone hates the business side, but now
it's almost kind of like a TED Talk.
It's kind of like it's kind of a bit like that.
In some ways, and some of the subjects, absolutely. And I mean, collectors and call them, the business side, whatever, are just two sides of the same coin, because without one, you don't have the other. I need to buy stuff from somebody, and somebody needs to sell stuff to have a brick and mortar or an online business. Or so, we're two sides of the same coin. And, I think it's important that the business side gets together. I think every card show and every Instagram account and Facebook group and Clubhouse group is really all about the collectors all the time getting together and talking. So you got once a year that the business side gets together, and I think that's good. If they come out better and more educated and they have a positive experience, that's going to trickle down to us.
I agree, and I don't forget. There's not only this. There's a Tops. Tops has their own. There's the Industry Summit. There's that one too.
Right.
So all different flavors of the hobby. And I see Jeremy. I was looking for Jeremy. So Jeremy's the moderator of the Power of Creating Authentic Content, which is a new segment of our hobby, which is important to acknowledge.
What do you think he knows about that?
I don't know. Jeremy might know some things. I mean, he's
he doesn't want to give too much away on tonight's show.
Yeah, we don't want to give too much, but I'm sure it'll be interesting because he's actually on the panel with our friends from Brick, Pack, and Slab. I'm looking forward to that. I really love those guys.
I'd say one word: clickbait works.
It could be that, but it could be. There's a lot of important people on that panel. So it's actually definitely. They got Chris McGill there, like Dr. James Beckett is here, so it's good from that perspective. But I'll always have Sport Card Expo is my home. That's
yeah. Sure.
We just call him Jim.
We just call him Jim. We don't call him
Jeremy.
I don't call him anything. I don't know him.
Jeremy's actually summed it up better. I was trying to find a way to sum it up. This is a good way. So Mint is a networking opportunity show. Is more than just a card show aspect and panels, but networking, relationships, business opportunities that will come out of it. So that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
So, and we need that side of the coin, right? We need that.
Absolutely.
Well, it's the business end of the collectibles, as Eric was saying. So it's nice to have that focus with the show being secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Where the show is usually everything, and that other stuff happens nowhere on, podcasts. That's about it. Other than that,
right.
So this is nice in-person kind of impromptu kind of little get together, and a few guys sitting up. I guess there's 100 tables, I think, or something like that.
It's a fairly large show.
It's a large show. Vendors we got, and I'll look it up while we're looking at this. I wonder if Drake will show up.
Yeah.
If someone
He just lives over here.
You actually brought that up.
somebody offers him some money, or he thinks he's going to somehow
Money?
benefit from it, you know,
Really?
sure.
You might get a logo man somewhere from one of those vendors.
Yeah.
No, I've been reading a lot about that actually, about Drake. I like it. I like Drake. He makes me laugh. I'm just glad.
So what are your thoughts on that break then, Ameet?
I don't have a problem with it. He's a collector like anyone else. He's chasing what he can chase. He chases what he can afford. What I found funny was every single person. Well, he can afford it, but every single person. It's so my YouTube feed. I've got Jeremy's show. I've got Card Ladder. I've got all these shows, and all of a sudden it was like, ping, new content. It was about Drake. Next one, ping, new content about Drake. Ping. That was like, oh wow! So all these people are asking about the exact same thing. So I got a good perspective on it. I actually don't care. I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of cool. It adds some urban appeal to it. I would love to see what happened when he hits that logo man.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I anyone who wants to come into the hobby and they have goodwill, I personally welcome them.
Goodwill's the right word.
I don't you could have 5 cents in your pocket or 5 million. You're welcome to join us. I just want to be around good, positive people who are trying to do things the right way and treat everyone the right way and equally and with respect. I don't care what the deal is. So,
well, what we call it up here, Eric, is it's goodwill hunting.
Yeah, no, that may have come from Boston.
Here comes the Boston.
How you like them apples?
How you like them apples?
Okay, Eric, you always have to throw some sort of. Actually, the last 3 guests had some sort of Boston connection. You quickly showed us that. But we have to give homage to Boston. I do like Boston better than New York.
It's just become a little kind of a joke between us now. So I try to make sure I work it in as often as possible.
Ameet, you dropped Drake. He's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
Yeah,
I just thought it was
Toronto.
funny because I'm just thinking about it now.
Well, I like Drake. I like Drake. Well, guess
I do like
what?
Drake. I don't have a problem with him.
I like Mark Wahlberg.
See, you brought the Boston back at it.
Yeah.
See how you did that? Very well.
Yeah. I made sure I said it correctly. Mark.
We do have a Wahlburgers up here.
Oh, don't eat that stuff.
Oh,
it's
really?
so gross.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, I know. I haven't been to it yet. But
you couldn't pay me.
It's why?
It's horrible.
How can it be horrible?
It is.
How can you make a hamburger wrong? That's my question.
What's wrong with a hamburger?
It's not good. Like I have 1 minute from my house, and it's just no, thank you.
Really?
Pricey?
So for the record, we probably won't get Marky Mark as a guest on this show. Just saying.
Probably not.
Not now. I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But he's another one that probably will show up at this show, so that'll be interesting too.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Kent, shooed away your other huge sponsor of what I don't know, Bell telephone or internet or something like that. Right?
I don't think it was Bell. It's probably Rogers.
I probably lost the connection just because of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Can you pull up Jeremy's comment for a second?
Sure.
All right.
Which one?
He's starting
the last one, the latest one.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go.
I want to point out the hat that I'm wearing.
Yes.
Is not Ted Williams, although I do have a number 9 Ted Williams hat. It's not Gordie Howe. It is
number 6.
The Golden Jet Bobby Hull.
So it was number 6 because you have the upside down one touch.
Yeah, that's right. I'll wear it like this.
Where look on your wall. Your wall has enough evidence.
I just wanted to point out that I'm a hockey fan, and it's not my fault that the Bruins are the greatest team in NHL history.
I don't know.
How many cups you got? Sorry.
Yeah, how many cups do you have, Eric?
6.
Okay, so you should turn your hat back upside down.
So do times 4 and say Montreal.
You first, Bobby. I only count 2 cups for Montreal. They cheated for the rest of them. Toronto has the most cups in NHL history.
Thank you.
I'll take. Was it 11? I can't remember.
Is 11 or 13? Do you count the St. Pat's? Do you count?
I'll take every.
I'll give. Hey, as long as they didn't cheat like Montreal, they can have as many as they want.
I'll take whatever.
Montreal has 2 cups. That is it.
I have an issue with that. They celebrate. They have some t-shirts, hats. They say 100 years Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'm going no. 1927 Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
2027.
Yeah, you're right, Bobby.
The other teams, they weren't affiliated, and we are actually named the Toronto Maple Leafs. We were named after the Toronto Maple Leaf baseball team. That has been around since 1890, whatever. So
that was interesting. My 9-year-old the other day, he was asking me questions about sports, and just total sidebar, but he was like, "Why are they called the Chicago Bulls about the basketball team?" It's actually really interesting. We go look up like how the Knicks got named.
Knickerbockers,
the
Knickerbockers. Yeah. Bruins, though, that was an odd one. I looked that one up, and I'm like, they went on a wild stretch on that one.
Yeah, it had to do with Brown, the owner, and he had a chain of stores, and the mascot for his stores was a bear, and the colors of his store were gold and brown.
Yeah.
So when he started the team, it was the Boston Bruins were really an advertisement for his store, and he gave them the same symbol and same colors as his store so he could get more sales.
Oh, interesting.
So that was the interesting part. So I'm like, this has nothing to do with the Boston area.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bears in
not the Bruins.
Yeah, in New England.
Not in Boston.
in Canada,
We do have a lot of bears in Massachusetts. In Western Mass, there's lots of black bears. And we have many bears. If you look at, say, New England, as the Bruins represent New England like the Patriots do, we have a lot of bears in Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire.
Yeah, they have bears. It should have been
they
the
all
Boston
come down
Bears.
from Canada. Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
As long as the white ones don't come down and they stay up there,
we're good.
I'm fine.
Dude, global warming has ruined all that. They're going to be in your backyard before you know it.
No, well, let them eat you first.
It's okay. They're just going to go to the South Pole because there's as much melting there. There's much in the South Pole has risen.
Yeah,
how many?
Yeah, no kidding.
60 feet, I think.
Yep.
So that's the way the axis turns on the world. Anyways, the most interesting team name, I think, is the Rangers, named after the Texas Rangers.
Really?
Yes, exactly. Named after the Texas Rangers. The Rangers came up. There was some representation of the Texas Rangers coming up, and then they called the team the Rangers.
No kidding.
I have a write-up on it. It's really interesting about it, and I went, wow, like who'd have thought from New York to Texas, and that that they melded together somehow. But that's what they were named after. So
and they didn't even move up like say the Los Angeles Lakers moved from Indianapolis. The Utah Jazz moved from New Orleans. And they kept the names, which make no sense because obviously the Jazz and Utah don't really go together, and there's not a lot of large lakes in Los Angeles that people go touristy things at. So people have wondered, why in the world do they come up with these? And it's like, do your history. There's an answer.
Well, a lot of teams have changed, especially
like another one is the Golden
sports.
State Warriors. That was an interesting one. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? That was a strange one.
Well, they're from San Francisco, and California is known as the Golden State.
The Warriors, the name Warriors.
Oh, the Warriors.
Golden State.
Yeah,
that I figured out. Eric,
I'm not to play.
Yeah, there you go. They're big fans of that movie.
They're from Boston, aren't they?
No, they're not from Boston. It would have been a bunch of pasty white Irish guys if it was a Boston gang.
Gotcha.
That's true. Yes, I would agree with that.
They look like Eric.
I'm half Portuguese and half Irish.
That's a dangerous combo.
Yeah, so I have a really nice tan in the in the summer. I'm not like some of my Irish cousins who can't go out in the sun
because they'll turn into lobsters.
Oh yeah.
I'm Scottish and French, so I had red hair growing up. So
Jeremy has to do.
Thanks for hanging out, Jer.
No worries. He has some adulting to do. So.
I hate adulting.
See
you later, buddy.
Break, rip off. How do you have it after March break?
What's strange? So,
I was going to see you, and I'm not going no more.
What's funny? I was in Jamaica, right, and just last week, and I'm I love having the phone right beside me. I'm like, doing all my card purchases from Jamaica. I could get used to just being in a different country and just buying cards. You can buy cards from anywhere. I was just thinking, I was like, wow, this is too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. Like, look up eBay while you're lying on a beach and buy stuff you don't need. It's actually worse.
First of all, we do need it. And if we don't buy on eBay, there's a possibility we could die.
I believe that. I believe
heard
that.
about
Like a
that,
drug.
yeah.
So
I bought stuff I didn't need. Here, an example. This guy was selling cheap cards, and I just decided I needed it, so I bought it. Don't even know I have this stupid card.
MVP, Burrell.
I don't even know why I bought it. He was like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Sure."
who's the player? I couldn't tell.
It's Patrick Ilyich.
Hey, that's
Like stuff I don't need. Like what do I need this for? Victor Hedman jersey. Don't even need it.
So you did go away on your March break.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he did. He went away. Yes.
However, I didn't spend any money on Comp C, which was weird. So I got to go back there and spend some money.
Oh, don't you just trade? Can't you just trade?
I don't know how to trade cards, Bobby. I only speak in. Well, it's funny because at a show, when someone tries to trade a card to me, my brain breaks. If they do it with money, it's easier.
I like trading. There's an advantage to it. Because if you give up something that you had that you really have less interested to get something that you are interested in, and usually you get more in trade value than you do in actual real dollar value. So
that is true. That is true. There is an art to it. I'm not very good at it. That's for sure.
I'm the artful one on that.
Yeah. So what are some of your more notorious trades?
Notorious trades?
Or sorry, good trades, or whatever you want.
Good trades. Good trades. Not too much notorious.
There's hundreds, thousands. They're constant. The biggest part is being in Canada, and a lot of the guys who are in the United States, a lot of products that were made in the United States never really made their way to Canada. So if there was a USA-based company that manufactured, you wouldn't really get the products unless you ordered the Hockey News or by chance it was in a sports card store or something like that. So they have a lot of different items, but it's kind of common to them. And then same thing with a lot of the Canadian stuff, like Kellogg's and certain things that were exclusively Canadian. So they go, "Oh, I've been looking for those. What do you got? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got this, and I don't know if you're interested. Yeah, okay, I'll take them."
Because Bob, even wasn't there a time when Kraft made hockey cards? I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have some.
Yeah,
I remember the Kraft slices, right?
Yeah, the slices. Well, yeah. Yeah, there was Maple Leaf too. They did some other products where they put stickers in them in 1974. That was sort of your peanut butter. Was Maple Leaf Foods. Wait, same brand, same company actually. But yeah, Kraft did. They did a lot of different things. Mostly later in the 90s or in the 90s. Only a couple 70s items. They did the 80s, a couple things. They weren't as big as I thought they would be because they owned a lot of cereals and peanut butter, and you thought they would be more in the marketplace.
So Bob Jackson, I believe you are right. There is a Sunkiss Auto which I own. So
I heard about that one. Yeah,
I have the Auto. I got it through secondhand, but yeah, there were people chasing the Autos and those bags of oranges.
Would that be equivalent to like the Michael Jordan Haynes Auto?
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah, I remember.
So how many were put out in these bags of oranges, and how did they protect a card?
In a bag of oranges? Good question.
I think, and I don't
curious.
know. I have to look it up. I think it was a redemption. You had to get a redemption card. Otherwise, you just got a base card of it. And the base card was small. It was like a tiny. There's like 75% of this. Like 75% of the size of a jersey.
Okay.
See if I can find it. What's like here?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I know my friend had a bunch of those, the cards. At that time, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I just said, I'm not interested. So there's one of the trades that didn't go that I should have. But would I have kept them? That's the thing. See, we don't know about these things that we didn't know about.
It's true. Yeah.
Explode. So everyone goes, what really happened was it was like a surprise. If you were at that time sitting holding wax or holding all these Gretzky cards and waiting to sell them, it worked out well for you. You can't call somebody sharp when something lucky like that happens because they go, "Oh, yeah, I was pretty sharp to think that I was going to hold on to." I said, Yeah, if the pandemic didn't happen, you'd be the same right now. Don't give me that crap. You know, don't take too much credit on that one because nobody knew it was coming. If we did, I've had what 20 Gretzky's, 30 Gretzky's over the years. One left, but oh yeah. Well, they came in.
I haven't had that many. I'd like
to. A 2 or 3. I used to, we used to set up at Rob's show all the time. I don't know if you've ever been there, Ameet. And they'd have a draw for the thing, and you could buy tickets. I won the Gretzky 3 times in a row. It was a PSA 2 or 3.
Really?
At that 3 times in a row.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow. 3 weeks, 3 months in a row. And I just give the show, give me $150, $200.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So apparently I've lost screen sharing permissions. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, there is the Sunkist one. Looks like there is a base card on ComC if you look it up, and the auto version is the same as the base version. So I'll figure out the sharing later.
You lost screen share?
You shouldn't have lost.
And Chrome denied me screen sharing. I don't know why.
Well, maybe it has something to do with your poor behavior.
Denied.
Could be. I'm not from Boston, so maybe that's the
No,
the
we
issue.
invented poor behavior.
Yeah. See, in Boston, you got to know somebody. Right? Nobody.
There was a time where that was very true.
Yeah, especially Boston, Chicago.
And thankfully those days are done. But there's still a couple of people lingering around thinking it's the old days, and you don't want to cross them.
That's everywhere, really.
So, Bobby, why don't you tell us about your website coming up?
Well, no, he's gonna lie. Don't ask him these questions. He's gonna lie.
Okay, I'll try to tell the truth as much as possible. Yes, we're gonna launch at the show, maybe a week prior, just so we don't get flooded with all the people running to our booth. Regardless of that, we're ready to go at this time. We're kind of going through some training. We're going through some making sure everything works fine. We redid the search capabilities, just fixing the little blips and glops here and there. The apps are working wonderful. And see, the apps are actually designed as apps. They're not like you download like the website app, where it takes the website and tries to squeeze it on your phone. Like eBay never works.
Oh, yeah, right.
These are made apps for the app, by the app, from the app.
Nice.
So they will work specifically and very well. So everything is working fine. We did run into one issue, which we're going to keep adding stuff as time goes along because we're worried about fair use, putting every picture of every card in there. And we have examples. We were going to go with examples, but we're going to try to add more and more sets, complete sets. And that's talking, 15, 20,000 scans.
Yeah,
20,000 numbers you have to add, 16-digit numbers to every card, to every crop, every scan, anyways. That's just hockey. The CFL is another deal because that's Andy Malecki who does that. He's the CFL side. So so we're looking forward to coming out. It's pretty ready. I keep sending him stuff because there's so many regional issues. I was talking about Eric, or send me some pictures on this exclusive Bruins. There's so many regional items that were done. Like I said, with the trades and what have you, there's a lot of things that were regional down in the U.S., like Minnesota, St. Louis, Boston, Buffalo. So those things are great because we didn't really have that area to get them. There's shows and people come up and stuff like that. But this way, you get directly to the people, and then you can make some trades. And they want the Canadian stuff, we want the American stuff, so it works out well in my position up here because the guy goes, where do you get that on your table? Because not too many people trade or travel to the United States. Like even if you go to the National, what's the percentage of hockey? Like 2%, 1%?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you can't really do much in trade. So knowing people out there, it really helps with the trade aspect of things. So anyways, so I'm pretty happy with the way everything's going. There'll be a lot of new stuff in there that most of it will be that's new, probably mostly 70s, the merchandise section, and a lot of regional stuff that I've added to on top of that. So we're looking forward to adding more and more. It's going to be a constant ad for the next 2 to 3 years. You'll see every month there'll be 4 or 5 new issues added, different player related items, because there's sometimes like what was it, 1956, I think it was. Maurice Richard had a Humpty Dumpty hockey stick. It said 500 butts or goals. Butts is goals in French, right? So I always wondered where that stick was. And then a guy told me, he said his friend had a chip bag that had Richard on it. And I never got to see his friend moved. And so I never ever did get a picture or anything of it. But adding that stuff, because it's collectible, because someone says, Bobby, how much is that worth? It's like, well, you know, they don't come up very often. What was it related to? It was, well, it's Humpty Dumpty stamped on it. We all know that's potato chips. So it was a mail away premium at that time. So, you know, these little things that Richard did, just Richard, Gretzky, and Howe, and oh my gosh, you can add up those guys' things that they've single issues, like just whatever they did. You know, Gordie Howe did a lot of stuff too. So when you add those in, when you do the search, all the Gordie Howe stuff, you can do specific searches. And Gordie Howe, all his cards, but all that other stuff will come up. But you can critique it if you just want the merchandise, or you just want the food issue, or
that's cool,
or the cards. So you can select. If you don't select, it's all, then you get everything, right? So I think that'll be really important to add, because there's so many things. I get questions, you know, 30 or 40 a week. Hey, what's this worth? What's this? Have you ever seen this, Eric? Have you ever seen this, Eric? Have you ever seen this, Eric? And I think it'll help the hobby a lot to identify things and keep me off my cell phone more.
No,
Speaking of,
yeah, I'm about to say, Ameet, are you gonna segue this, or do you want me to help you out?
You go for it.
Uh-oh.
Ken, he just set you up. If you don't hit a home run right this second, I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
I love how Eric. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, oh.
So, Bobby, I'm sure you've seen these before, and I just found them in a box.
No. Ask him. No, don't give him that. Tell him you probably haven't seen these before. That's what.
Okay, Bobby, you probably haven't seen these before, but
probably not.
Excellent. Now you got it.
Have you seen these before?
Hockey glove. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you almost stumped him.
Do you know anything about the history of these things?
You know, when you're talking about equipment, they made 50,000 different pairs of gloves. So anybody who knows more than anybody else, well, that's Gordie Howe's Trueline, yeah, of course. So the regular gloves, Gordie Howe endorsed it in the 60s. He did a tour around Canada. A tour for Trueline. And he was the ambassador of Trueline. So all the equipment, hockey sticks and skates and gloves and stuff like that. He did that through the 60s, right up till 68, 69. I actually have a booklet where it's the tour of him and real pictures of him going out to BC and then visiting here and there, and all the kids are lined up, and he's handing out his Trueline autograph postcards, and so I have his whole itinerary with pictures. So that was really cool. See, that's stuff I'd like to show, but it's very hard to show that as a collectible. It's more of a unique type of one of a kind kind of thing. Would I like to add it? No, but I'd like to write an article about it and maybe take that into consideration to doing that. So when I do get free time in another couple of years, I can start adding stuff like that. Like, it may be not interesting to the lion's share of the hobby, but to the specific people who maybe were there, remember that, or it's just kind of nice to know, that's where it came from. Through the 60s and the 70s, the player endorsements went through the roof more than any other time. 60s, it started to happen, and then more in the 70s. Then everybody, Bossy, Ron Ellis, it was everybody, Sanderson, or had so much stuff. But a lot of them got locked into contracts, so they couldn't do other things. So if Orr is missing, or Gretzky is missing from certain, like the Pepsi caps from 80-81, there's no Gretzky. Why? Because he's tied in with 7-Up. So he couldn't do the Pepsi. And they go, no, you signed the contract. No, we're with Nielsen's, and you can't do anything else. They could do a different product that was away, but Coke and Pepsi and 7-Up, they're all the same drinks, so you can't do the same.
Interesting.
Well, so you run into those problems and issues, and that's another part of the hobby that's kind of fun for me and interesting, is that what happened? Why was Gretzky not in there? Well, it's pretty simple to me, but somebody might not know that. Like, why did they miss Gretzky? He was like in his prime. Only if he was allowed, and it wasn't a relatively similar product. That's why they would not do that.
I have Gretzky. I have a 7-Up poster with Gretzky on it. It's probably been a million copies of it, but I have had one for a long time.
Just him by himself, or with
yeah, he's skating and he's blowing snow and turning sideways and smiling.
Blowing snow, is that what we call it?
And yeah. And it's a 7-Up poster back from like the early 80s.
Yeah, he was 81. He was tied in with that.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how many crossover hockey and non-hockey products there were in the early 60s, or were they just exclusively one player, one product?
in the 60s, it was no. It didn't matter then. Contracts really started to come in mostly in the mid 70s and then the 80s. It was, they really got into their hardcore contracts. So I know I have something. There it is. So this is an old article about Gretzky.
Oh,
more than just cards. So, this article was written, I don't know, I took a photocopy of it because sometimes there's that little piece of information that somebody had written about, 20 or 30 years ago that I didn't know about. So, I pick them up and I read them sometimes because when I was breaking down a lot of the, I put a lot of Gretzky stuff in the early 80s in the book because he had Nielsen's. He was tied in with so many,
Nielsen,
but it's just Gretzky. So it's one player. So it's not hobby wide, it's just Gretzky, but it was such a big promotion and it's worth so much money, you have to bring it forward. So those things actually kind of ended up in the mainstream stuff. I didn't have to wait to put that in. I put all the Nielsen stuff and all the other, because there was contests and it was across Canada and the Mr. Big promotion, all the hot chocolate stuff. Right. The 7-Up wasn't so big. Who else did they have? They had two other players in there. The baseball player, Gary Carter, and then they had the goalie, Bunny LaRock. I think the three of them were tied into the 7-Up. I think I have a poster. Oh, geez, I think I might just have.
Oh,
Bobby does everything.
Love the props. The props are just in arm's reach.
Oh, he's got everything. It's amazing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
who did you? Bobby, who did you say the football player is?
There's no football player. It's just Gary Carter's here.
Okay.
Gary Carter's here, Gretzky, and then you have Bunny LaRock.
And
they have football, that's Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and there's a Jets. I think.
Oh, Winnipeg, CFL.
Number 12, is that Howard Chuck?
If Jeremy was still here, he could answer that, but
I believe so.
Parent-teacher night, yeah.
Hey, it's important parent-teacher night.
So that sounds like some
I got a great
BS excuse name would come up with.
Great 7
No, for him, it's not parents-teacher night. It's taking the care of the kids night.
Yeah, he's full of garbage. I told you before, he doesn't have kids.
Here's my 7-Up story.
So, Bobby, I got to ask you a question. So, the Gretzky signed post cereal boxes, was that a promotion or was that like after the fact?
That was a promotion. I think you could send away for that. See, when you get into the 90s, I don't really follow the 90s as deep.
Okay.
They did the Pro Star cereal, and I think on the back you could send away for a box set, and then there would be an autograph version.
Interesting.
Vaguely saying something about that, but no, I was saying my 7-Up story. I do have a 7-Up story. Now, I used to go to the variety store, and I used to buy 7-Up. And I remember the Gretzky poster and everything. It's 1981. I'm grade 12 at that time. And almost every third bottle, I'd win a free bottle. It was unbelievable. And there was a Gretzky cap with a little, and I must have won 50 bottles. Honestly, because it was summertime, it's hot. You just, wow, another winner, another. Under the cap, there was Gretzky's picture, and it says, "You're a winner." I have pictures on my computer. But also there was a Gary Carter, but I never did see a Bunny LaRock. Maybe it was only in Quebec they had the winner card. So, but I used to get the Gretzky all the time. And I said, what's going on? Is there something wrong with this promotion? Because I kept on winning and going back and going back. So I finally found one of them about 10 years ago. It was in the bottom of one of my something or other. And I went, oh, there we go. It's the guy, because it was one of the ones I maybe took home and didn't, you get lost. The liners are only, size of a loony. So I finally got that, and then every Galaxy collector was on me like you wouldn't believe. It was like, where did you find that? Because bottle caps, they're around. The liners, on a contest like the other 80/81s have pictures of players, but this was just generic kind of.
I do remember
rubber liner.
I do remember something. It was really tough to get the liner out. You had to use a knife. First of all, you'd have to the bottle caps had those perforated aluminum edges. You had to snap those all off. Then you take the knife, carve in. You have to bend the cap, get the knife in under it. Oh, yeah, I remember those. Those were a pain.
I still think that was an ingenious way of marketing, just to put something in a bottle liner.
Yeah,
it's true, but kids went nuts over it.
Yeah, I wish more people did things. Bobby Orr, 1971, Pepsi, they did that promotion. Most people don't even know about that promotion. It's bottle cap liners. You had to answer. They gave you 20 questions or 10 questions. There was 10 right and 10 wrong. So 10 questions with 20 answers. You either had the right or wrong answer. Like who was the top goalie in the NHL, and then so one was Terry Sawchuk and one was say Bauer on the bottom. So you collect 20 of those, send them in. You would end up with a free Bobby Orr book. They also did it for Cornwall, and it's what's that book called? The Bobby Orr, the Secrets of Bobby Orr, whatever it is. That booklet. The booklets are everywhere. Bottle caps nowhere.
Right.
The liners, even the caps. But I ended up making a nice trade with a guy for a stack of those liners. Just
no kidding.
Like 4 or 5 sets. The Bobby Orr was getting $200 just for the Bobby Orr liner alone. It was just because nobody's seen them. It's just like the Gretzky was. I think I sold that one for $200 too. Because people want that stuff. It's just the rare stuff.
So Eric bought the one for $200.
I would have
$20 maybe if Eric's pockets are jingling. For the most part, cheap the iron boss. Anyways, yeah. So that was my story about the Gretzky caps and the bottle caps, and there wasn't many, but there's a few. I think it was an ingenious way. Coke did a lot of bottle cap. You could win a prize. One of the best ones, if you remember music, 7-Up did on the bottom of the cans, and you'd had to open the bottom of the can to get the stars out, or under the caps. If you got all the bands, the Canadian bands, all the Who, Guess Who, who's the one from out Western Canada, and so this is talking about the 70s here. So if you sent away, you had to get all the members. I think the hard member, the one, who was that band in BC? They had 11 members or something.
Triumph? Not Triumph.
No.
Triumph was another one, obviously, but what's that other one out in BC? They got like 11.
Yeah, I know you're thinking about.
I only thought Canada had one band, so I'm learning a lot tonight.
Other than Rush,
I just thought it was Rush, and that was it. So
yeah, well, Triumph was pretty big in here.
We have Bieber too. Trooper.
No, it wasn't Trooper.
It wasn't Trooper?
I love the Hot Shots album. That was amazing.
Huh.
Most guys in the United States never heard that, and then
April Wine?
No. What a night! No, not tonight.
No, but these guys have like 11 members, so it can't be those.
Yeah,
guys.
it's a big.
Well,
band.
Trooper had a lot of people too. And so did Triumph.
I had it on the tip of my tongue, and then Eric said something.
I'm sorry. I was talking again.
He was thinking about Justin Bieber. That's what happened.
Bieber, that's what threw me off.
Bieber.
Oh, it'll come to me anyways. But you can send away for those either through the bottom of the cans, or through the caps. But that was always that one band member that you wouldn't get. Nobody could find Geddy Lee. Nobody could find
Of course.
But there was only 3 for them guys, where this had 11, and I forget. I'm almost getting it.
You just lost it now.
Yeah, I lost it again.
It's funny because we all thought Triumph had 11 people. Triumph had 3 people. So
that's why it's a triumvirate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I gotta find it.
Oh no! Don't tell me, please. Because as soon as I thinking with the W, why? I know the name of the band.
I'm looking up.
It's always the case when you can name it any other time except when you're on the air and you're under the gun to remember, right?
All right.
Lighthouse. Got it.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, Lighthouse. Yes.
Lighthouse. Yeah.
Yes.
They had like 11.
Bob Jackson will keep us honest there.
I have not heard of any of these bands.
You know, you
Lighthouse?
amazing music. Amazing. Like honestly, like we're talking.
No. What is Boston?
What did Boston? We had Marky Mark. We had New Kids on the Block.
Well, you had Boston as well. Boston.
You had Boston too.
Are they from Boston?
Yeah, very much so. Yes, very much so. And then we had that whole Aerosmith group or somebody.
I don't know.
They were living in an elevator. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Actually, Bobby, did you get into music collectibles at all?
And I've been all in every bit of collectibles. Yeah, a little bit of something. I was a Van Halenite, so growing up with Van Halen,
I love Van Halen. But which version of Van Halen do you like?
Well,
Diamond Dave or the?
Yeah, I didn't like Van Hager very much. It was kind of That's why they split, because David Lee Roth didn't want to go in the same direction as Eddie Van Halen and John. So it was kind of, and Michael Anthony was kind of, I don't know what he was doing. I saw their first concert. What was it? I Diver Down in '82. I went to Maple Leaf Gardens and saw that, and that was the best concert I think I ever seen to date. And I collected. I went to see ZZ Top. I bought a keychain and the thing. I didn't have much money. You only got like
Eric.
Like in today's money, these kids go, oh yeah, I'll buy you a jersey. I'll buy you, spend $100 on the kids. You go down, you got pay for your own tickets from shoveling snow or whatever you did, and you had like $3 left over. What can I afford at the souvenir stand? A keychain for $2. Okay, and that's it. We didn't have a lot of money to throw around like kids today get. Dad, can I get that pack? Well, it's a $35 pack. Okay, I'll take the $100 and you take the $35. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, but you got to shovel snow 9 months of the year. You should have had plenty of money.
No, that's Buffalo. Sorry, we're okay up here. 5 months of the year.
Didn't Boston have a trouble with snow one year? You had to hire melters to get ready.
Well, 2015, we had 3 blizzards, one a week. So that was really bad. And then, of course, the one that everyone still talks about was the blizzard of '78, where we unfortunately had some people die, and it was the technology wasn't the snow was the same, but
you're right.
But the technology isn't what we had today. So it was much more difficult to deal with that amount of snow in 1978 than it would be today. But that's still very much talked about. I was 4 or 5, depending on whatever month it was. But I remember it. I remember having to be shoveled out of our house. The neighbor had to come over and shovel out the front door because we couldn't get out. I watched other older kids and older people like jump off their, second floors into snowbanks and stuff. I was too young to be doing any of that nonsense.
You're the intelligent one. You're one of the rare ones out there. Anyways,
well, I was 4. My mother wouldn't let me. I would have.
Your mother is smart too.
She is.
But sorry, Bobby, you were saying about the music collection. Go back to where you were going with that.
Yeah, I wasn't the ultimate concert goer, but anytime that like I seen Def Leppard and I bought a jersey, I bought the shirt. So I would buy little things here and there that were kind of. I still collected comics at that time, and I was into hockey games and other stuff. I had Rock'em Sock'em Robots, so I had some toys. So I had a little bit of everything going on. Hockey was the mainstay because I watched hockey every day, and I had cards here and there and other collectibles related to cards. So through my whole life, it's always been like that since 73, 74. I started getting into comics and more into cards, and then other stuff just kind of. It's like you're born a collector. Anything
I agree.
You're into. So either you're into music, and then
I agree.
Started driving motorcycles, and then there were certain ZZ Top was kind of cool, and I had my motorcycle key with a big ZZ Top chain on it, and there wasn't the type of collectibles that we could have, because remember, you're a kid growing up for the most part. You have your room, you have a big poster. I had a Team Canada poster from 1972. It was called The Best in the Labatt's, and it was from the 72 Summit Series. I lived in a condo with my parents at that time. I think I was 16 years old. They had these garbage bins well, on each floor there was a little garbage room with a chute. Well, it was a little room, it was like 2 by 2. Well, someone left that rolled up in the corner. So I went, parents say, take the garbage, so you throw it down the chute, and that was in the corner. And I kind of went, oh, hey. And I unrolled it and went, wow. So I realized that they only made 6 of those, and they were for Russia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the best on the last from whatever. So they made 6.
Hey, Josh.
We're just saying hi to Peeps. No Peeps. I haven't opened up any UD Series 1 yet. I've been buying Marvel products instead.
Who?
It's Billy. Billy.
Which Billy? There's a lot.
The only Billy.
Billy, I'll send you the link. Give me 1 sec.
So who is the key rookie to get out of Upper Deck Series 1, Eric? Or Bobby? Of this year's
Caulfield, I think.
Who?
Cole Caulfield.
What?
Montreal. He's the boss. I did that for Eric's sake.
Yeah, about to say that'd be nice if he's the best rookie.
Who do you have? Jeremy Swayman? That's your big guy. Is that the?
Yeah, no, I'm serious because I don't really,
It's Cole Caulfield and Zegras. Caulfield, Zegras, and I'm forgetting the other one.
As much as I'm a huge hockey fan, I have not opened up a pack of cards since the 90s. Seriously. So I don't collect anything modern.
He is cheap. I was right.
I am cheap. But I realized in the 90s, during the 90s boom, that if I tried to collect everything, I would run out of money and I run out of space, and it got too much.
Yeah.
You guys remember the 90s? I mean, there was 400 different companies with 400 different products each. And each card set was 500 cards plus inserts plus it was like I gave up in the mid 90s. I said, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't chase everything. And I said, I made a deal with myself then. I'm gonna pick a lane and I'm gonna stay in it. And I picked vintage hockey. It's what I've enjoyed the most. And I only collect from the dawn of the sport all the way up to 1994, I'd say at most. I would collect Gretzky up till 99 when he retired, but I don't collect Gretzky after 99.
Oh, no kidding.
Really?
Right. Yeah,
Billy.
I only want player year stuff for Gretzky.
Billy, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I'm not going to talk a lot. I just
Billy, you can talk all night long, baby.
No,
nothing wrong with you talking.
I want to hear about Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain, the actress.
Oh, Billy, you and your internet issues.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys follow Billy, and I'm sure you do if you haven't him on, even though he's Mr. Upper Deck, that's not what his passion in collecting is. And he just was able to meet to do some collecting and met some movie stars again, and he had a beautiful picture that he just posted, and I wanted to hear the story behind it.
Can you hear now, Billy?
Is this any better? Sometimes in my living room, I don't get as good reception. Is this better?
You're better, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So Jessica Chastain is the nicest person in Hollywood. I'm not saying that. She is. She always signs, takes pictures every time she can. And so when you go, you know you're going to get a good experience. It's awesome. I hope she wins the Oscar. She deserves it. Not only does she deserve it just because of her acting, but just because of the person she is. But you don't win Oscars because who you are. It's the acting, and she's amazing in the Tammy Faye movie. But so we went, and I got there. I was one of the first ones there, but no one was there. So I sat in my car, and I come out like half hour later, and there's like 15, 20 people already there. I was like, oh, shoot. So we're on a straight line. and we go to like when it was getting close to the time she was going to arrive, because it was at a Q&A that she was doing for the movie, and they put up like a rope, and some people started rushing the rope, and one of the autograph collectors, she's like, "Get back now. It's Jessica Chastain. She's going to sign. If you're in her line, it'll go by quicker and nicer. You know she's going to do it. You don't need..." And everyone just like listened to this lady screaming, and we're like, I mean, I didn't rush her or anything because I knew exactly what she was saying. She was right. And so she arrived. We were in the line. We just kind of went through, and you know, with her, she always signs, but you don't throw a whole bunch of photos at her. You take 1 or 2 photos. So I had 2. She's like, "I'm going to do 2 each today, guys." She signed 2 each, took pictures, told her, wished her luck and everything. She's like, "Thank you so much." And you know, couldn't have been nicer. It's always a great experience. I will always go for her because I just want to see her, talk to her, and whatever. Now here's the part that you didn't catch from that picture. So we go back home, and then my friend calls me, or my friend gets a call. I'm sorry. I stayed at a friend's house in the Valley in LA, and he's just like, "Hurry up, Johnny Depp's at the Troubadour right now." And I was like, "Shit." And this is a PG. Sorry, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
And so my friend had to get his stuff ready. Now I always carry photos that I don't get signed in my trunk. I have like bins, and so I had a couple Johnny Depp photos. My friend had stuff, so he gets in his car.
This guy's the real deal, guys. Come on,
we're going.
That's awesome.
We're going the twisty, windy roads. I had the OF bar like on a death grip because my friend wanted to get there. We're 8 minutes away, and the guy that gave him the tip calls. He's just like, "Oh, he's signed, and he's leaving right now," and we missed him by 8 minutes.
Oh no!
So but in the autographing world, you know, I'm not talking about conventions and stuff like that. I'm talking about the crazies that run around try to get autographs for free. It's the law of averages, and you're gonna have good experiences and bad experiences. And I just, you know, my friend was all upset because he had some cast pieces he wanted him on and stuff, and I just kind of was like, you know, that's kind of how it is. I had such a good experience with Jessica. You know, it's a bummer we didn't get Johnny, but that's the law of averages with autographing.
So
that would be cool to get Johnny Depp too.
Who's on your bucket list right
now? People to get. I'm trying to like. I got one of them that I'd never gotten before at the Spirit Awards. I'd never gotten Lily James, and I was happy.
I saw that. That was awesome.
Got her. She looked amazing too. Oh my goodness. So that was one that I was happy to get. I mean, there's obviously like the Eastwoods. I've never gotten Clint Eastwood. I bought a Clint Eastwood, but I've never gotten him. I've seen him, but I've never gotten him. And I'm trying to think of who else.
He's going to live forever, Billy.
What?
I'm convinced he's going to live forever. So you have plenty of time.
Well, my friend, like, because what sucks is we paused a little bit before going for Depp, and he's just, and his roommate's like, Depp's not gonna live forever. And when we were driving there, I'm like, I don't know, like he's got that Keith Richards to him, where it's just like that dude probably is gonna live a real long time, and he put a lot of shit in his body. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
But no, Eastwood. I'm convinced some of these Hollywood people have had some sort of treatments or something that just makes them. I mean, they probably have a dietitian and medicine that we might not have access to. But I'm just convinced they somehow are able to stick around a little longer for some reason.
Billy, is Clint a signer though? Like,
okay, so. And I don't want to talk the whole time. I told you this. I want.
We're making you talk.
Okay. We're asking the questions. We need the answers, Billy.
Okay, so
stop being interesting. We wouldn't ask you anything.
Clint Eastwood. Here's the funny story about Clint. Like,
yeah,
I rarely does it like at premieres and stuff because it gets crazy. But there's a restaurant that he eats at that he loves to eat at, or at least used to eat at all the time. So what happened was, for the longest time there was like a little group of people. Now, I wasn't one of them, but one or two of my friends were, where your job, whether something's going on or not, your job is to go to the restaurant. Like you have to go that night to the restaurant. And if he shows up, then they call, like the little group, they call each other. And then when he comes out of the restaurant, he usually would sign. And that's when people would get him, is going to the restaurant that he always eats at. Kind of like Mel Brooks has a restaurant that he would eat at all the time, to the point where everyone kept going there. And one of the graphers, Mel pretty much hired as his like autograph assistant or whatever. And he had the guy, okay, you're going to be here. You line the people up and blah, 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 blah. And he'd sit there and he'd sign on top of a garbage can. But yeah, like, so Eastwood will sign, and it gets crazy because, as you know, or as you might be able to guess, secrets and information, the more people know, the more people find out about it, the more people go. And then that's what's getting harder and harder with my little hobby here, is more people keep finding out about stuff.
Right.
People can't keep their mouths shut. And the other thing that is killing it, it's not killing it, but it's to each their own, photo oppers. There's people out there that there's so many photo oppers nowadays. And I think it has to do with social media and posting stuff on. I mean, I post my stuff on Instagram too, so I'm guilty. But I always go for I always go for the autograph first. I think the only person I said I wouldn't do that for is Jessica Alba, just because that's my number one. But you know, that they post the stuff on the internet, and so all these photo oppers are getting there really early. But what some of these photo oppers haven't or finally learned is, I can't be taking, like, these kids are like losing their jobs or not even working or whatever, because they're running around trying to get these photo ops, and they're addicted. And so then they realize, well, I got to get money somehow. So then they'll bring like Funko Pops or something to get signed. So now they've turned into graphers and photo operas, but they get there earlier than me, or just as early as me, or after me. But like they have to get their photos. So if you're in the front and they're in the second row, they're going to try to push through you, and it's just like, really? Like, don't know what to tell you.
Does that make your job harder? Like Billy, like with everybody, you know, I'm sure there's movie stars who, like you said, it doesn't go back to that restaurant because there's just too many people lined up all the time now. So it makes it harder for you to find autographs, I would imagine, now, because people are avoiding the places that they're going, right?
Right now it's still hard, only because of the of COVID. They're still like, they still have premieres pretty much on lockdown. Stars are able to use that as an excuse, and they do. Yeah. And you know, but you know, the amount of people, yeah. What becomes harder then is, like, I went for Amanda Seyfried a few weeks ago, and I had to get there quite early, because the place I go, there's like only a certain number of spots in the front, and if you're in the second row, because you have to reach over something, a fence, if you're not going to be able to reach over somebody on a ladder on a fence. It sounds weird when I say ladder and stuff like this, but there's a talk show. There used to be a line, and now they made this big wall when the stars come in and out. So now people have ladders and call them over. I mean, it's just, they still come over. Sometimes they have the wall open, sometimes they don't. They had the wall open they had the wall across this time, and it was, you know, I had to get there earlier because, you know, you're competing with more people now. So that part's harder. They don't like larger crowds. You know, they might get one or two, and then everybody just swarms because they can't be patient. There's a few, going back to Chastain, I apologize, but there's few people that can get the respect, that to demand it and get it. And Jessica will just be like, guys, line up, and people will listen to her because they know she's going to sign. They know she's going to take a picture. They know she's going to take care of everybody. And Russell Crowe's another one where you wouldn't think he's the nicest guy, but when he does do it, it's get in the line, photo op or autograph. That's it. Like, you get which one do you want? And you know, I there's a reason I don't have a photo op with Russell Crowe, but I have a few autographs. You know, you get one or the other. And
One guy I'd like to meet is Russell Crowe. Great actor for sure.
yeah, so
Don't-
it's still hard because of COVID, because a lot of stuff right now is virtual, because they've learned
Right.
that they can do some of this stuff virtual. And they've the other thing is they found new places to host events that don't involve the public. Like a lot of premieres are being held at studios now instead of on Hollywood Boulevard or at different theaters and stuff like that, because that's what they had to do when things were getting released. So some of the people are kind of staying with it because they're like, this is a lot less of a hassle.
Oh. So
Billy,
the graphers
go ahead.
are mostly in California and New York, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, there's some in, like, I know there's some in like San Francisco. I mean, there's graphers
Wow.
kind of like everywhere you go, but the majority, Atlanta's another place because a lot of people fly in and out through Atlanta. A lot of the graphers in Atlanta they either go to sets or they do the airport. I've got a couple friends in Hawaii that graph because they do a lot of filming in Hawaii too.
Do a lot of filming here in Toronto as well, eh?
Toronto, yep. There's I have Vancouver's another one because they film a lot of stuff in Vancouver. I've always wanted to go to the TIFF. That's for sure. I've heard a lot of good things. A lot of people have good luck there, but I just haven't. I haven't ventured out because usually I'm either at card conventions or Comic-Con or something else.
Yeah, my only claim to fame is I went to school with Kiefer Sutherland for a year.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this was grade 6. So I asked him, I said, do you want to be an actor like your dad? And he said, no way.
Well, we know that wasn't true.
And then Flatliners came out, and his whole career changed.
Yeah, well, wasn't it the before Flatliners? It was the boys. What's that?
Yeah, you were.
That,
the horror movie, whatever.
Yeah, vampire.
Yes.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yeah, Lost Boys. That's it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was his. No problem.
I just want to ask Billy just one last question about his hobby. When you meet, well, I guess you have already met so many times. When you see Jessica Chastain, does she recognize you by now?
I would like to think so, but I don't. A gift here and there. She had a Q&A for the Zookeeper wife, and during the Q&A, she's sitting there talking. The reason she chose to do the Zookeeper's wife was because it was a female director with female staff. She talks about how there's what is it, Jennifer Hoops or Jessica Hoops from is it Zootopia? I can't remember the rabbit. Anyway, she said there's like this. I think it's Zootopia. Like there's this quote from it, and it's just like you have to do the you have to basically it said you had to practice what you preach, but it's a big long ass quote. And so I went to a play that Jennifer Goodwin was in, and so I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if I got her to write the quote for Jessica Chastain on a Jessica Hoops image from the movie? And so Jennifer comes out, and I told her, and she did the whole quote, and it takes up half the picture and signs it. And I'm like, thanks. And then she turns around, she's like, this is your movie. Why don't you sign it too? And so this guy signs it, and I get back to my friend's house, and my friend's wife is just like, when did you meet John Lasseter? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, that's the guy I'm like, I didn't know who it was. Like, yeah, that's the Pixar guy. I was like, oh, geez, good job, Billy. Probably should have had him like sketch something for me. But anyway, I've given her stuff. I don't know if she I'm sure she sees people all the time. There's only two celebrities that I know would recognize me. Might not know my name, but would recognize me. One is Emma Dumont, who plays Polaris on The Gifted.
Right.
I actually just had her. She just went on Cameo, She was on it a long time ago, and I always check to see if she's on it. And I checked her Instagram. She's like, "Oh, I'm back on Cameo." So it was like $40. I was just like, "Hey, it's your favorite grapher from LA, LAX, and Comic Con." I'm like, could you, hope everything's going well, blah, blah, blah. Could you bust out your little guitar and sing a song? Because on Instagram, she would sing songs. She freaking wrote a song with my name in it and like was singing about me and stuff. So I'm like, okay, she actually does remember me.
Wow.
And then the other one is Evan Rachel Wood. A lot of people know I like follow her a lot. She her concert, like I'm a bigger fan, honestly, of she and a gentleman named Zane Carney, who actually was a child actor and now is like a Grammy nominated musician, guitar player. They kind of have like an Evan and Zane band, and whenever they're playing in LA, I go there. I'll get the VIP tickets. That's the person I have the most autographs of. It's like 60 something autographs I think I have of her. But she would recognize me. I think she got taught at an early age, like, don't become friends with, your fans. Because I know celebrities actually, they go through, like actors, they will have classes. And when they become actors, like, and some of the stuff they say is don't, necessarily become really good friends with your fans. So she will be nice, and she recognizes me and will say, "Hey, how's it going?" Like she'll talk, like, we know each other, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say any of these people are my friends or like they know me or anything like that. I think some of these people are delusional when they think that, and some of them they might be they might be like friends with them and stuff. But so those are the two people that would recognize me. Jessica is always really nice and like talks a lot more than just like, "Hey, how are you?" But I think she sees and knows a lot more people that it wouldn't necessarily be like she knows who I am.
So California, the Hall of Fame of graphers, where are you on that list, Billy?
Oh, I'm not even close. I always say this with
Come
cards.
on.
If you think there's always someone better than you, and I get like I don't get all this in. There's people that do this for a living. That's what you got to think about. There's people that this is their job. This is their livelihood. I work 40 hours a week. I work more than 40 hours a week, honestly. But, I'm working 40 hours a week, and this is my hobby. From a hobby standpoint, I have a pretty good collection. But, Ameet's had one of my friends on his show, or me and Ken, Andy, and you know what? A lot of like his collection's ridiculous. Andy's one of the guys that was getting some of those. He wasn't there for Clint, but he has some of those Clint Eastwoods I was talking about from other people. He has an amazing collection, and being part of Star Wars Autograph Universe, it's just grown. So there's always someone that has we even tried to sit there like, who do you think has more autographs? And I think he's got me beat. Like, I don't know if I include cards, but now he's collecting cards too. So that's hurting where I would actually have an advantage over him. But there's so many collectors. The thing is, I don't know, like these people that do it for a living, I don't know what they actually have in their collection either, because they sell stuff. So
Right.
like I get it and then it's gone. But like there's some autograph. I'm in a number of autograph groups, and I think a couple of the guys in this chat here are in the same groups that I'm in, and see what some of these people have and what they spend. Do I have an amazing collection for not spending a lot of money on it? Yes. But I'm not even close. I'm not even
Your
close.
collection is pretty good, and I've seen some of it, and it's
this
amazing.
is ignore all the garbage and stuff, but like this is a chunk.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yep.
There's like a bunch of the stuff, and then the signed books are back there, and yeah, I moved everything into my bedroom so I could actually have a living room with a dining room table and couch and coffee stuff instead of all my autographs all over the place.
So, in your professional opinion, what is the best thing to use for autographs?
I use Toya Art Portfolio. Are you talking for storage?
Anything.
What like do you use a Sharpie?
I go Sharpie.
Brand?
I'm not into paint pens because I had a bad experience with a paint pen early. I haven't gotten the girl sent. Like Rachel McAdams was right in front of me, and someone gave her a paint pen, and then I got it, and it's horrible. It almost exploded, and I was
Right.
just like, oh, forget paint pens. If they want to use a paint pen at a private signing that I pay for, go for it because they look gorgeous. And I've gotten when other people give the celebrities paint pens, they look gorgeous. But I'm a blue Sharpie guy. I use blue Sharpies. Some celebrities won't sign in blue because there's some urban legend that you can lift the autograph and put it on their checks and stuff. I don't. They make up some stuff.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I always have a black with me too, just to be safe. And then what sucks is the golds and silver are tougher. That's usually where you'll see the decos and the paint pens because for some reason silver and gold Sharpies, they dry out or they don't flow like blues and blacks do. It's weird. It might be a different material. I know when we have our deco pens that we have people sign at Upper Deck, there's specific colors that we try to stay away from. When I made that color coded insert in the cup, there was specific colors that we didn't, and we ended up using I think gold instead of yellow because the yellow didn't dry correctly.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys can see this. I just got this recently, and it's got gold paint pen on it, and
it can look
I think
amazing.
It looks fantastic.
It can look amazing. I got a couple things done with white paint pen, and I think they look great. But someone's telling me stay away from white paint pen because it can crack after a while. So I'm worried because one of them is my Natalie Portman 16 by 20 that I got done. So hopefully that doesn't dry up.
She doesn't sign very often, does she? She's a tough get.
No,
no, she doesn't sign at all.
Yeah, she did a private signing with my friends group, Star Wars Autograph Universe. And what's funny is people and Topps, I know, got a bunch of autographs from there. You might see some Natalie Portmans elsewhere, but yeah, she's extremely tough. She's on everyone's worst signers list normally. But she did the signing, was a trooper, and everything came out great. I was very happy with what I got, and kudos to them for making it happen because she's tough. I'll just put it that way. Just tough autograph.
Will she sign things from her movie, The Professional? Or
yes.
Is she will? Okay.
Yep.
Because I know there was an issue a couple of years ago where she really kind of badmouthed the film and how she now as an adult looks back at it and doesn't like, the theme. It gets a little uncomfortable at times. But the theme of her character is she's probably like 12 and she's at times being overly sexualized at 12.
Yep.
And she isn't a huge fan of that, which I respect that entirely. So I was wondering if she's distancing herself from that movie, which is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Yeah, amazing movie, yeah.
Well done. Or whether or not she has accepted that as part of her career.
She signed, people brought stuff in and she signed it. I don't know of anything that she didn't sign. That being said, I don't think people brought in inappropriate stuff for her to sign. I'll show you. I got a gorgeous photo signed. Is it in this book? Ugh. These binders. This is one of the ones I got signed. Can I just flip the camera? I don't know how this works.
Whatever you want to do, dude.
There it is. I mean, it's gorgeous, but can you guys see it? No. Let me try it. Can I flip the? Oh, Cam. Maybe that does it.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Turned your camera.
No.
Oh, now you're back.
Okay, I'll just hold it up.
Sure.
And drop my phone.
It's like Blair Witch
Project.
Oh,
wow, that's a nice one.
Nice.
White was perfect color for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a hot picture, not inappropriate. But
No.
She signed it.
But she's also not 12 in that. So I was wondering,
True.
you know, if she, and I don't think that listen, if you're a fan of the film, I don't think there's a scene where she is placed in that's overtly inappropriate, that a photo, you know, would be inappropriate from a scene that she was in. It was just more of her, you know, her attitude, as her character's behavior and attitude for 12.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is any inappropriate pictures from that film of her. But I was just curious if she's distancing herself from it, because I've heard comments in the past that it sounded like maybe she was trying to.
The greatest storyline, you know, unique in all.
I could watch that movie.
It's a great movie.
I could watch that once a week. You know, I absolutely love it.
It's a good movie. It's a classic. I would say it's a classic.
He's a great actor too. I forget his name. You would know it, Billy.
He's very famous.
I know it's a French guy, I think.
Yeah, Rene.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good in everything he does. He's one of those guys.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, Reno. Okay.
Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah.
And Gary Oldman's in that. And
Gary Oldman's in that movie?
Oh yeah, he's the bad guy.
Oh yeah, he played the bad guy. Yeah.
Oh, Danny Aiello.
Crazy bad guy.
Wow. Cast.
Yeah, there's a few. I think there's a couple of hidden people that probably got bigger as their careers went on, that may have jumped in that also. But yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic film. But I don't, like I said, I don't blame her for the comments that she made about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that won't sign specific things. I mean, that's let's I'm trying to think.
They get more money for things that are usually signed, right? So that's why the business is probably pushed that way, right?
Well, like there's the old Bo Jackson thing where he won't sign that one picture with him with the baseball bat and the black and white, the old scorecard.
Why?
He won't sign that. He had some, like, because it's worth money, so he has like some contract with some company that he only signs it through them.
Really? Oh.
I think that's the story. I could be wrong.
So like Ken Dryden doesn't want to sign anything either. So yeah.
Oh, he's the worst.
Well, he doesn't want to sign.
I have a Ken Dryden auto.
I look at one every day at the shop that I'm working at, and one of these days I'm gonna end up putting my credit card down on it.
It's not that much money. Shouldn't be that much. It's about $100.
I haven't asked. I don't even want to know.
It's about $100.
Well, this is a framed piece, and I mean, it's not just 8x10 or something. It's a really nice piece.
So yeah, that brings a good question to Billy again. I love having Billy here because you can ask him these questions. Like we get autographs signed at all the shows that we do. What is the average price for a medium star that they would charge to get something signed?
It's gone up. I'll just put it that way. During COVID, or right at the end of, I can't say at the end of COVID, it's still going on. I know the cast of The Boys was at like New York Comic Con in Detroit and whatever. So like Anthony Starr, Aaron Moriarty, the main two of the main people from there, they were charging like $40-$50. But then you have eventually Lily was charging $80 just last weekend at Richmond. I had a friend get that done for me because I'm working on a set. But private signings, I think they just announced Tom Hardy, like some group, and it's like $200-$300. And like some of these names, Anne Hathaway, I think they had Anne Hathaway too, and she was like $350.
Wow.
And then, but I think Portman for what she is and how much she signs, I think was the cheapest was like I think it was $550.
Whoa,
$550. And honestly, before that signing, a signed Star Wars picture of Natalie Portman wouldn't sell for under $1,000.
Wow.
So I mean, for people to complain, I mean, that was, it seems like it's a lot of money, but she sells for so much. And then Robert Downey Jr. just had a private signing with Star Wars Autograph Universe,
Right.
and he was $700.
Oh my god!
Well, I think that's actually. I think it's worth it.
And it went to a lot of it went to charity. Robert was doing it for charity.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Well, I won't. Oh my god, is loud if it's going for charity.
Yeah. So that's that, and I don't know if there's an official whatever anywhere, but they're deeming it the largest, private signing ever from a money standpoint, and I believe it, because it's like there's a lot of people out there that are collecting all this Marvel stuff, and all these Marvel people have been doing conventions. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Don Cheadle, Brie Larson, they're all doing these conventions. There's two that really haven't. There's a couple that haven't done a convention, and one of them is Robert Downey Jr. and everybody needs him on the Avengers poster. And the other one's Scarlett Johansson, and
right,
that's going to be just as crazy if Scarlett does one.
Well, that's she just got that Disney lawsuit money. She doesn't need it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Honestly, I ScarJo, I definitely want an autograph of hers, but I don't really have too many. Billy, you've been gracious enough to help me with a few. But I can't get into the graphing. It's just another hobby I can't get into.
I'm still waiting for Gal to do her signing with SWAU.
Yeah, she had a kid.
Hockey stars, so.
Yeah, she had a kid, so it's a scheduling thing. But I think I don't know. I don't know dates, and one of my best friends is one of the main people at Star Wars Autograph Universe, but we don't really talk and deal with. We don't like. I try to keep that out of our
for sure,
because it's just like there's so many people that once he was one of the people that started that group, and once they've been getting all these signings. There's so many people that have been coming up to him and like almost expecting freebies from him, and it's just like,
oh, seriously,
guys, like this is a business. Like Andy's not coming up to me. He is, but he's doing it jokingly. I'm like, Andy's not coming up to me and asking for free Michael Jordans. I'm not gonna go up to him and ask for anything from him, because that's not what our friendship is based upon.
Exactly.
And it's been kind of sad seeing some of these people just like, can you hook me up? Can you hook me up? And it's like, really? So
hey Bill.
Yeah.
Can I have a free Michael Jordan?
I didn't think Boston liked Michael Jordan.
If
there you go, the Boston. Again.
I'll sell the hell out of it in 3 seconds after you give it to me. No, I don't want that piece of crap in my house.
Bobby Orr stuff. That's why. Mm-hmm. Ken Dryden, actually. Yeah, I guess.
So that's Ken Dryden that I got.
That's awesome.
So
how'd you get that, Ameet? I mean, he doesn't sign.
I went to the Maple Leafs hosted the draft the year Alexander Steen got drafted. I can't remember what year that was.
Steen, yeah.
So Jay Bouwmeester, Alexander Steen, Peter Tadachek. There was a bunch of guys in that draft. I think it's 02 or 03, I want to say. I can't remember. And I dressed up in a suit and tie and pretended I was an agent and just sat in the crowd and I watched. And he comes up and I'm like, look, I got one shot at this. I'm just gonna get I only want one guy, and I'm not gonna get I literally asked him. I said, look, I know you're gonna say no, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Can you please sign this? He looked at me and he wanted to say no, but then he just grabbed my pen and he signed, and everyone around me is like, how does that work? I'm like, I don't know. He just signed for me. I was okay. The other guy that I almost got, but it got ruined, was the Chief, George Armstrong. I almost got him. Almost. He was this close, and he was right next to Ken Dryden. I was like,
I have him on my board. I got a Leaf board with all, different old ones, Bauer and what have you. But Billy, you ever been incognito to get an autograph? Come on, where's the dirt?
Incognito. No, let me think. I don't like sneaking. I don't like
it's sneaking in the open, really. So it's not.
Yeah,
sneaking.
So I sat in the Beverly Hills or Beverly Hilton Hotel. I sat, and so when you're like sometimes they have a spot for fans, but they kind of stopped doing that because people ruined it. So I was just sitting in the hotel, and it was the Dumbo premiere or the Dumbo press junket, and so I'm sitting there, and it's one of those things when you get not necessarily when you get caught, but when you go up, then they might ask you to leave, so you got to take your one shot. So Tim Burton walks past, and I let him walk past. And somebody else walked past the movie. I let him walk past. Eva Green comes walking. I follow her right to the elevator. Eva, could I get a photo? Sure. And got a quick photo with her. And unfortunately, the elevator was ready, and I couldn't get my autograph. But I wanted the photo with her because I had already gotten her autograph. And so, yeah. So like sometimes you'll just sit in hotels, and you gotta take your shot with the one because you might get kicked out. But I don't really do it too much. Like being
Tim Burton though, you let Tim Burton walk by?
Oh, come on, Ameet. If you had a choice between that
Eva Green
guy versus Eva Green, I mean, come on.
Yeah, sorry, I'd go Eva Green too.
Tim Burton's a legend, man.
He is a weird-looking dude, and Eva Green is right there. This isn't even a conversation.
Okay, I'm gonna go look who this person is. Eva Green.
Yeah, and make sure that the adult link is on if you look up Eva Green Sin City 2.
Oh, she's Sin City. Ah.
She's in the second one. I'm a big
Sin
City fan too, even though I know the second one's not nearly as good as the first one.
First one was amazing.
I still have to. Yeah, I've got.
I didn't like the second one as much.
No.
Do you have Rourke's autograph?
Yes,
Mickey. He's
Rourke?
an interesting dude, Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, I got him at his handprint ceremony.
Oh, okay,
nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was he nice, friendly?
Yeah, he's all right. I haven't met him too often, unfortunately, but when I did, he was fine. I mean, it's one of those things at the handprint ceremony, like there's a pen of people, and they come over and they all sign, So he signed, so I guess he was, nice enough to do that.
You have to sign at your handprint ceremony, right? I mean, all the cameras are there, and the fans come, and I mean, you can't look like a jerk.
You'd think. The craziest. So we went to the star ceremony for Jerry Bruckheimer, and everybody's thinking it's going to be a great day. All I ended up walking with was 2 Jerry Bruckheimers, but I have a picture of Jerry Bruckheimer with Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, Martin Lawrence, all just standing next. And I think there was someone else, I can't remember. All just standing next to each other, and I'm like, feet yards away from them. I'm like, but they're all like, nope, this is his event. This is his event. Like Francis Ford Coppola got his star on yesterday, and Elle Fanning was one of the speakers, and I was like, well, I'd like to get both, but like I don't want to take the day off of work to go for Francis Ford Coppola because I don't know if he'll do it because I've never had an interaction with him, and Elle Fanning I can just see being the type to say, no, this isn't my event, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Now, what's worth more, her auto now or when she was a kid?
Depends on. She's. I don't want to say she's always been a kid. She's actually one of the first autographs I got when I was like going to things. Like she was one of the first 20 people that I probably met. I have a picture of her, and it pissed me off because I had sandals on and she had high heels and she was still taller than me. And I think she was like, motherfucker. Pardon my language. Yeah, so there's Dakota Fanning things where she spells Dakota, and Drew Barrymore where it's like Drew Barrymore's when she's a kid is worth more obviously than her now. So I would say the kid one, if you can get it out, if it's authenticated, is probably worth more because people will be like, well, she sounds like this all the time now, but she only sounded like this when she was a kid.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, it's like early Bobby Orr autographs or early Johnny Bauer go for more than their more so current autographs do. So it does work the same way. It's very parallel the autograph industry with sports and movies. It seems. Like your average autograph is what, $40 at the show, I think, for your just average kind of guy. But then you get up to, Mario Lemieux and Bobby Orr, $200-$300 each. But that's as high as it goes. You don't get $750 Iron Man money. So
the con prices I think maxed out around like 300 so far. Not okay. Let me rephrase that. Excluding Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I think they did some like special like meet and greet cons, and those were like thousands of dollars. But I think it also like it was the autograph plus the photo op plus maybe a handshake, or got to listen to him talk for a hot second. But
that's what you want to do. You want to listen to those two speak with
both of them
legibly.
Oh,
they're worse than Boston accent there.
Yo. Yeah, it was nice to meet you too, Mr. Stallone.
I got to see. So Schwarzenegger was signing his book, I think at Chapters or Indigo, and I used to work right around there, so I would go and I just literally stood there to watch. I could not get over the number of people there lining up for autographed books. Had I known at the time, I could have got one, but I didn't think about it at the time. They were right there in front of you. It was like, but it wasn't cheap.
You want to see a copy of the book? Because I have it right over there.
Oh, no kidding.
I went to the Grove in LA and went to that same book signing. And the funny thing is, like, there were so many people. I was probably about 20 people away, and then they're like, sorry, he's got to go, but he signed a bunch beforehand too. So I ended up getting one of the pre-signed ones or whatever.
Does a handshake come at $500, Billy?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I would rather have the handshake than the autograph, on a personal opinion.
Then you will love Bruce Willis. Because
is that cool?
At the Red 2 premiere, he went down the line, and first he just stood there and let people take pictures of him across the barricade of fans. And then he just started shaking hands. And he's like, a handshake is worth more than an autograph. And then you're hearing all the professional bullshit. So I did get,
it might be.
I did get a handshake from Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis used to be notoriously like, that was one of those names also that you would just be like, nope, he's not a very good signer. Let me rephrase that. He's not a very good signer in LA. For some reason, people in New York get him, but not in LA. And then it was the Sin City 2 premiere where it's just like, oh my goodness, this whole cast is so nice. Rosario Dawson's great. Jessica Alba will do it. Jamie, these people will come over. And the only two people to come over were Rodriguez and Bruce Willis. And part of me is just like, that's the only Bruce Willis I own. And what did he do? I brought a Sin City 2 poster that I had gotten at Comic-Con, already signed by a bunch of people, and he signed his name right over Frank Miller.
Oh no.
It's still there. It doesn't matter. Right?
Should have printed Pulp Fiction, but oh well.
Oh yeah, that would have been exactly.
That's my favorite movie.
So here's my ode to Bruce Willis. Do you get it?
Your watch is on the inside of your hand?
Yes. Bruce, this is how Bruce Willis wears his watches in real life and in his movies.
Oh.
He wears it on the inside of his wrist. I do watch any movie, see him in real life, video or pictures, and this is how he wears his watch.
I can't do that because when they say what time is it, you always go, oh,
yeah,
shoot. Yeah.
That's what he does.
It doesn't work.
I just picked up on that many years ago that he's always going like this in the movies. I got 5 minutes before the bomb goes off, and he has to turn it like this. Look at his wrist.
My grandfather was a jeweler, so the watches were a big deal. And my dad would always yell at me because I always would wear my watch on my right hand, and I'm right-handed. He's like, "You're supposed to have it on your left hand." I'm like, I look at this is what I do. But then I stopped wearing watches because now everybody has phones.
Yeah. My watch is connected to the phone.
See, I haven't gotten that fancy.
Billy, do you own a watch?
I don't own a watch anymore. There's certain
anymore.
I haven't had a watch in years. I can't even count how long. I have my grandfather's watch in a box. That's the closest to a watch I own.
It's more an accessory now than it is,
I have my phone on me at all times.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's not for telling time anymore. It's more for the aesthetic, right?
Well, no, see, I look to tell the time.
I have an alarm clock. It's called Ameet texting me at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's my alarm clock.
3 hours difference.
Coming out on
it's true. I text him all the time in the morning.
Doesn't realize that there's a time change. It's not bad. It's not bad. He doesn't bother me much anymore.
Now
that
all the time, I'd be like, I'd be opening up like an Upper Deck E-Pack, and I'm like, Billy, what the hell is this?
Yeah, what did you make here?
Hey, now that Chris isn't there anymore, I'll try to hook you up with whoever's going to be in charge next, and maybe you can get some Upper Deck people back on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I had to fight myself tonight.
I have no problem.
Josh, thanks for stopping by.
I didn't hear what you guys said.
Are you going to Vegas?
No, we don't do Vegas. I don't want to meet Jordan either. No, I'm just kidding.
They don't. I don't think they know what you're talking about, but that's friggin' funny.
Yeah, I want to meet so many guys in that group. I'm telling you that, like, that it should be fun. I know that. So I have my schedule. Like I wrote this all stuff down. So I'll be in Vegas for International Fight Week for Vegas for UFC. There's a good chance I'll be in Vegas for the AEW pay-per-view Fan Fest, because I kind of whined and complained, like, why don't you take the guy who built the first 5 AEW sets to the Fan Fest when you're trying to pump the cards, because he probably knows a lot about the cards and can talk to the consumers about the cards. And so I think I finally convinced them to let me go. So Good. There's that. There's San Diego Comic-Con. Right after San Diego Comic-Con is the National. And
right.
Grant was like saying, well, maybe, go to the National. Well, I never go to the National because I always want to go to the Expo. And so I kind of make a deal, like, I'll get the Fall Expo, and then my counterparts, you can do the National. And then I, as I said, I go to Comic-Con and stuff too. And so who knows if I go to both or what, and then we got the Expo come in did I write that in my calendar? I hope
June.
so. Hold on. Yeah, I know.
For June.
It's in June, dudes.
June what?
I gotta look it up.
Oh no!
June,
shoot, I didn't even write that down. Oh, I got another line. See, I got on my calendar, I got March 31st and April 1st. I'm going to the Letterkenny live concerts at the Ace Hotel in Los Angeles. So I'm working half days both those days. And then on the 2nd, I'm going to Formula Drift in Long Beach. And then I have to house sit for a few people from in April. I got Letterkenny live in Michigan on May 2nd. AEW Fan Fest. International Fight, UFC International Fight. Yeah, I didn't put the Expo on here.
June 2nd to 5th.
Yeah. Do I have
Why
anything
is it
going
everybody in the US they house sit for people? That never happens in Canada. Why?
Because we have a lot less gun crime and crime in general, Bobby.
Because dogs can just run around in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I say house sitting, I'm actually dog sitting.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
So they picked the guy that lives on his own and doesn't have a significant other or pet, and I just kind of watch everybody's pets.
Okay, gotcha.
But it is an American thing. It is definitely an American thing because I know here,
Well, you
here
hear movies
Canadians
all the time, right?
we take our pets with us on vacation. I don't know what you guys, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not taking the tortoise, the rabbit, and the bearded dragon with us on a trip. I'm
no,
good.
Eric, you're not. No.
No, no, not happening. We'll have somebody come over and feed those things while we're gone.
So someone's gonna house it.
yes,
No, nobody house sits for me. No,
okay, because that's technically house sitting.
Technically, yeah.
no, they come over and feed the pets and leave.
That's what Billy just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. House sitting.
Oh no, I stay there.
But you have extended house sitting, yes.
I have pet feedings. That's what I have.
Well, there'll be time. See, when I house sit for one of my friends, it's in Los Angeles area, so it's kind of convenient. Like I'll feed the dogs in the morning, go to an event or whatever, and then come back, feed them at night, or they get, as long as they get 2 feedings in the day, it's okay.
I love how this show is talking about dogs and cats and feeding times right now. Anyways,
Well, I want to ask Billy: Is Upper Deck going to be at the Mint or
no? See, we have our what we call our CDD conference.
Okay.
From what I was told, and I could be wrong. I'm not really wrong, but we used to have like the things in Hawaii and Vegas, and we would spend so much money and give away so much stuff, and we would get like a half hour here and maybe a half hour there to talk, like to everybody. And it just seemed like, why don't we instead invite our distributors and our diamond dealers and everything to an event hosted by Upper Deck? And so usually it's been in January. Now we've obviously missed the last 2 because of COVID, but it's been in like Florida, it's been in Arizona, it's been in Los Angeles. So we have our CDD conference, and we bring the people in. We have like all these different people that come and speak, and we go over all of our products that are coming out. We have like our entertainment department, our gaming department, our sports department. Like we all have times that we talk. We bring in people from, like grading companies or just business people that'll help people like learning about their shop, like how to run their shops and stuff like that. And so we kind of, and then we take them out and we have like meals for them every day. We have special guests. We have, different places that we take them. And it's a lot of fun. And so
when is it, Billy?
It's usually in January.
I'd be down for that. I'd like to come check that out.
So that's kind of our thing. It's like we're maximizing our time and our money, and we're able to, and we're giving the stuff to people that would use it and would need, like a lot of times, like when those giveaways and stuff, shops will use those for like, break, like, hey, here's an extra bonus pack for breaks and stuff, or here's, some extra cards, and some of them keep it and sell it and they make money off it, and good for them. But,
right.
It's at least it's going towards the people that buy our product and not just some other people that were there for some other reason. And we've got a lot of positive reviews about it. Yeah.
Good.
So let me know when the next one is.
So,
I might put down for that one.
You have to be invited to meet, I think.
They didn't invite me. So Billy, you're going to be inviting me.
You want those 6 a.m. texts and phone calls to stop? If I was you, I'd invite them.
They won't stop. They won't stop.
They still won't stop.
I'll schedule it tomorrow. Gang, it's getting on 2 hours. I'm starting to lose my focus here. But I want to. Are you guys okay to wrap up soon?
Sure.
It's your show, my friend.
I want to make sure I'm being respectful. So
I'm used to going another 3 hours, but that's
I don't know how you guys do
Yeah, I
it.
don't know how you guys can go for 5 hours.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I swear. I look at the clock
been
sometimes.
in the hobby a long time. We got a lot to talk about.
I go, how in the world is it 1 a.m? I don't. When did the time go?
Yeah,
The
true.
thing is, though, Kent and I didn't plan any topics today, which is actually kind of cool. We just totally freestyle, so it's better. But I'm sure next time we do this, we'll have some topics and stuff. But Billy, I appreciate you coming by. Eric and Bobby, thank you very much. This is a great way. This was fun. I like this. We should do this more often.
For sure.
Can you
Plan
need to
some
stop
topics.
talking so much?
Yeah.
You were
got
talking
stories,
you were
Billy.
talking over everyone the whole time, Ken.
I know, but you said you didn't want to talk, so that kind of changed things.
You guys kept asking questions. I feel bad.
No, Billy. If we were asking you to shut up and you wouldn't, then you should feel bad.
There you
We
go.
keep asking you questions. Answer the damn things.
No, you did a good job. Like we got to talk about different things. This is good. This is what the hobby's all about, right?
Exactly.
I had to throw some good questions. You know, the things I got to know. What pen do you sign with? You know.
Yeah, sharp. And the other thing is, when you get a new Sharpie, that's not when you want it to use it. You want to smush the the top down, and then kind of like a few circles and stuff, round out the top so you get a thicker blue. That's for photos. That's not for cards. Although I don't like the Stedlers as much. I like a little bit of a thicker blue than those little thin Stedler pens that they use on cards.
I can't tell you.
I see a lot of people using the Stedlers too.
Yeah, they skip those things.
I love I had sent a TTM when I was a kid, and I put a card in a penny sleeve, and the athlete signed the penny sleeve.
Oh,
I
no.
believe it.
Yeah.
That's the best story you could have on a card.
I remember.
What was it? The Fan Expo. I've seen people bring up comic books and they don't take it out of the bag, and then the person signs the bag.
I've seen that.
I'm gonna try to have Grant Fuhrer sign a slabbed card of his. I'm getting. I won a PSA 8 card from the 90s of his. I just like the shot. It's like he's in goal in the shot. It's an upper deck card, Billy, and it's coming down on his back, so you see Fuhrer across the back, and he's making a save. You know, so it's coming down from on top of the net, and it's a 10-cent card raw, but it's slabbed, and I'm thinking when he and Bobby Hull come to this signing in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have Fuhrer sign the slab.
They do. A couple of guys I know that actually get the slab signed of all the big guys of their cards. That's actually pretty cool.
Does it stay on the slab though? Like
that was my question. Yeah, I was gonna say.
You keep it out of the sun, and
questions for Billy. Come on, Billy.
Don't rub it.
We got a professional.
Well, you don't rub the auto. But I'll tell you a funny thing though.
Sign.
A friend of mine was telling me he was getting something signed, and the actress or actor put the pen tip in his nose, itch his nose, handed the pen back to him, and he's like, "I don't want the pen. Just give me the photo. You keep the pen. Just give me the photo."
Oh my gosh,
that's You could PSA DNA it at that point.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
True. But it just the look of horror on his face. He's like, "I don't want that pen back, man. You keep the pen. I just want the autograph." But it's funny because Kent's right. I've seen so many people sign the sleeves of comic books.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'll show you here. Ignore what the photo. I'll take the photo out. I had a photo in there. I went to a premiere for the outfit. Mark Rylance I thought was going to be there. He wasn't, but I really went for Zoe Dutch. But
Zoe, yeah.
So you can see the boards here. They have we put stuff in the corners, so then you can put the photos in there. And I had a board that had bigger corners because it was a bigger board. And this is a long time ago, but Mr. Now Batman, Robert Pattinson, signed the corner spot and on a piece of and there was tape on there.
Oh, he signed yeah.
And then he ended up signing the photo too. And so as a joke gift to one of my friends, I ripped the piece of tape off of it and put it on another photo. It was just here's your Robert Pattinson signed photo. And it was just the tape. We do it with stickers, with cards. Why can't I do it with a photo?
There you go.
Those create the best memories, though. Honestly, the story behind it is more
Yes.
important than the thing itself.
Absolutely,
sometimes.
Bobby, for sure.
That's one thing I've always like contemplated doing is just writing just like a coffee table book
Memoirs.
with the encounters of some
Dude,
of the
you
celebrities
should.
and
You should,
stuff.
You
man.
should, man. You should.
And like
should.
have the photo op and the autograph with it and what I got, and just and even if maybe it's just something that down the road my family has, and it'll be like this was your uncle, or whatever. But I always kind of thought about doing some sort of book that had like different stories from all the stuff.
I think you should. You should.
I agree. Yeah, you should do it.
You totally should do it. And I think it would go a long way, and it would be a fun thing to do. So I think you should do that for sure. The other funny story I have to tell, I remember from autograph signing at that draft I told you, or when I got the Ken Dryden auto. So I'm leaving the stadium, and what's that loudmouth former Boston player that always gets himself in trouble? It says something stupid. What the hell's his name?
How former?
What? How far
Danny
back are you
Ainge.
going?
No, recently he always does something stupid and he gets himself in trouble.
Paul
Smith?
Pierce.
No, he's a former hockey player. I want to say not Terry O'Reilly, but
Mike Mulberry.
that's it, Mike Milbury.
Oh,
Oh, Milbury.
So Milbury's coming out of the bathroom.
Now, just because Ameet, this is for you. Mike Milbury is Massachusetts born.
That's
Got-
hilarious.
Drafted by the Bruins, played his entire career there, then coached them.
That explains a lot. So he comes
nothing.
flying out of the bathroom, and these three guys want his autograph. And he goes, "Do you know where my hand has just been?"
That sounds like him. Yep.
And they all were like, I remember the look on their faces, and I started laughing. He looked over at me, and I go, that's funny, man. He goes, they still wanted his autograph.
Here's my Mike Milbury 8x10 right here.
What does
What's
it say on it?
the inscription there, Eric?
It says MSG, Madison Square Garden, 12/23/79, the shoe incident. Mike Milbury.
Oh,
number
the shoe
26.
incident. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a picture of him holding the penny loafer about to beat the guy with it.
Right.
those are the stories you'll never see again, right?
Right.
I'll never forget that moment where he's coming in the bathroom and he's like, "Do you know where my hand's been?" And I'm just like, "Wow, that's
All
pretty."
right, you want? Listen, if you don't mind, I'll tell you a story about a professional athlete in a bathroom. In my
Okay, go for it.
encounter.
And then we'll end on that.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
No, because I have a bathroom story too.
Okay, you both can do it. You both can do it.
All right. So
I
I
don't.
this is entirely
I do as well.
entirely true. Okay.
I feel like
Carlton Fisk, right? Used to play for the Red Sox, then he went off to the White Sox. He gets into the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? And almost immediately after, and Bobby knows this, there's a major card show, an autograph show in Wilmington, Massachusetts at the Shriners Auditorium. Okay. And we get Bill Russell there a lot, and just Gordie Howe's been there. I mean, big stars. So Pudge just gets into the Hall of Fame. Everybody wants a piece of him. I have no interest. I don't collect baseball. I don't care. I'm at the show. I'm there for hours. I have some water. It's time for me to get rid of the water. Okay. And I'm in the men's room, and I happen to be wearing a bright orange Adidas baseball hat, right? It's bright orange, got the Adidas logo right here. That's what I'm wearing that day. I'm at the urinal doing my thing, minding my own business. All of a sudden, this guy comes up next to me in the urinal next to me and goes, "Hey, what's that? Your hunting hat?" I turn, and it's Pudge. And now, gentlemen, we all know the rules. We don't talk in this situation. You look straight ahead. You do what you got to do. You leave. There's no talking. No, he proceeds to talk to me. He's asking me about all this stuff. Right, this guy got in the Hall of Fame like last weekend. There's a line out the freaking door. He's charging like $200 for an autograph, and he's sitting here next to me asking me about my hunting career.
Huh.
And so we're shooting the bull, and I'm yeah, okay, yeah. My buddy who's next to me on the right side of me now is leaning over.
No, that's the other no.
To talk to Pudge, and he starts telling him, "You're my wife's favorite player of all time. And when we first started dating, she had a baseball card of you in her mirror in the bathroom." And I'm sitting there like, what the hell did I do wrong in a former life to have this happen? So now you got Pudge on one side, you got my buddy John on the other, and they're talking. And I'm in the middle, still like, this is not, we're breaking rules. Protocol is being broken. I am very uncomfortable. So finally, things are done there, and we all mosey on over to the sink. Thankfully, Pudge does wash hands, just to let you know. And we're now, as Pudge is washing his hands, all of us, the three of us, notice that there's like this super skinny, probably 17, 18, 19-year-old kid just standing by the sink. Okay. And he's got a handful of like paper with him. And so Fisk is washing his hands, and it's like, excuse me, Mr. Fisk, I would like to congratulate you on getting into the Hall of Fame last weekend. That was really great. It must have been quite an honor. And I was wondering if would you mind signing this for me? Now, Fisk, instead of just addressing the kid right away, he turns and looks at me with this look of like bewilderment. Like, he looks at the kid and he goes, "Thank you very much, but we're in the bathroom right now, and this isn't the proper place for that." And the kid goes, I'm sorry. And turns around and just like runs out. And he looks at me and my buddy, and he just does one of these. Shakes his head and walks out. Goes back, sits at his table, getting his $200 an autograph with a line that's an hour long. And my buddy and I are looking at each other like, did that really just happen? Did this just happen? And so that's my autograph, famous person, bathroom story.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kind of scenario, yeah.
Billy, you get the last shout.
Man, I don't know if I can't top that though. I was just gonna say, I can't remember if I told this one, but I was at SummerSlam at the Staples Center, and I'm sitting there, and I'm taking a piss, and up walks next to me, it's David Arquette, and he's got his championship belt because he won like the WCW belt back in the day on his shoulder, and I just look, and I turned my head back, and I'm talking, I'm looking straight and talking straight. I go, this ain't the appropriate time or place, but when we're done, when we get out of here, can I get a picture with you? He's just like, yeah, man, cool. And so like seriously, just like straight ahead, not even making eye contact or
That's
anything.
for etiquette, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's like, when he got there, I turned my head and saw it was him, and I think he saw me kind of like, oh my gosh, like David Arquette's pissing right next to me, and so then washed their hands, and I went, and he comes out, he's like, hey buddy, he's like, you want to hold the belt in the picture? And he's like, I got a picture with David Arquette with the belt, but what people don't know is we just took a piss next to each other before that picture was taken.
You held protocol, which is good, Billy.
You held protocol.
I held protocol.
Yep. Not Carlton Fisk. He doesn't care about protocol.
But then he tells you about a kid. Hey, what's with this kid? I'm in the bathroom. Like, meanwhile, he's talking over your winky, going, hey, buddy.
Hey, nice hunting hat.
I have to. Yeah, that is funny. You remind me about. I have to tell you a story about Red Kelly next. Not in the bathroom. This has to do with him just talking about stories. We'll do that next time we hang out.
Okay, put it on the agenda.
Put on the agenda. We'll talk about it. But I want to thank you. Billy's yawning. I want to thank you all for joining. This was awesome. I really appreciate it. I know it takes time in your days to do it, so we really appreciate it. Cheers, folks.
Thank you.
Ameet, you're the one that